Hello, this video describes how to update existing OpenIAM instance installed with RPM from version 4.1.x to version 4.2.0.x. You might find a text documentation on our website docs.openiam.com in the section called Upgrading from version 4.1.2. It's located here. And in this video we also will follow the instruction. So we have OpenIAM installed on CentOS 7 server. This is OpenIAM version 4.1.14. However, it will also work with 13, 12, 11, 10, up to 7. You see here the version, right? And documentation, and you also need an access, the root access to your server where OpenIAM is installed. In my case, I have also a file with new OpenIAM downloaded on the same server. So following the instruction, we should install Git with YAM and download some Git repository which contains a utility which will help us to migrate OpenIAM. Based on the instruction, we must copy file to the migration utility folder, and we are done. So what we should do is just run steps upgrade in one.sh, and the upgrade process will be started. Please be sure that you have done every backup you need to roll back your deployment in the unlucky case. OpenIAM start updating the dependencies and shutting down the old OpenIAM instance. Now we see that installation of new files in the process. During the upgrade, system detect that we have MariaDB server already installed on the same local server, and system think that it is like it's used by OpenIAM, and it's in most cases it's right. So you need to use, if you are using MariaDB, you have to use MariaDB version up after 10.5.8. And if you have this database installed remotely, please upgrade it manually. In our case, we have it in the same host, so we just allow migration script do this job. It asks us about MariaDB root password. It's a part of the database upgrade. So the root password actually required not by OpenIAM but by the MariaDB upgrade process itself. And upgrade has done, but due to some race conditions, it will be good to have that there are no any Java processes and no any Redis processes are running. Sometimes they are not stopped by the migration utility, and we have to kill the processes by ourselves. But now it's fine, and we can continue with OpenIAM CLI init command. OpenIAM CLI init command, it's a regular command for new OpenIAM installation since version 4.2.0. Yeah, so we are waiting for deploying required infrastructure components such as etcd, Vault, Elasticsearch, RabbitMQ, and Redis. Now we should set schema, username and password for both OpenIAM and activity. I'm using the default one, so these values are good for me. However, if they're not good for you, you can change it here. Running. So from version 4.2 we are using a flyway utility for incremental database migration, and this section will ask you about some flyway configuration stuff. First of all is a baseline, so because there are no baseline before, we need to specify some of them, and usually it is this baseline is a version of old OpenIAM. Yeah, in our case it's 4.1.14, and the migration utility detect it automatically here. So you may change this parameter only in case if you are absolutely sure that this version is wrong and you had not this version. Otherwise, keep it as it is and click enter. Schema, I didn't change schema name. OpenIAM activity, it is a MySQL, and you also can use all of them like a Postgres, MySQL, Oracle. We don't need to initialize any schema because we are updating. It's on the local host, port 3306 is correct. Database migration scripts are applied. HTTPD proxy updated, and OpenIAM is starting right now. So it will take some time for OpenIAM to start. We can check how it goes using OpenIAM CLI status command, and also reading logs. So for example, logs, user local OpenIAM, logs OpenIAM, ESB logs, for example. Yeah, it's starting. So you can see in user local folder there are two OpenIAMs, which is lowercase is a new one, and the with capital O and IAM, which is old one, right? And you may delete old one if you need, because all your custom Groovy scripts are migrated to folder user local OpenIAM conf IAM scripts backuped. It contains all Groovy scripts which has been written by you for old version. It's done in this way because since version 4.2 we significantly change Groovy security, and 99% of all old Groovies will not be able to work with new version. So you have to migrate your Groovy scripts, custom Groovy scripts, one by one manually before you will go to the production. We're checking status, so only the UI component is still starting, so we will wait it. OpenIAM. While it's starting, we also should check the utils folder. It's usually local OpenIAM utils, which contains a different useful things to control OpenIAM installation. So first of it is a Vault Bootstrap. So if you need to change, for example, RabbitMQ password, Redis or database username or password, you should call this utility, and it will ask you about new values. You have to stop all values once again, not only what you would like to change. Next useful utility is utils. Utils. It's flyway in it. So with this utility, you may change. You may run the migration procedure again. So in some time when you do a migration, you have some custom database entities which could conflict with the new database entities from the migration, and some of your scripts, like here, like this, could throws an error, and after you fixing some conflicts, to start the migration process again, you should run these utilities. The base version will be the same for all the time, so for 1.14 will be the same even if you will do the next updates. OpenIAM CLI status. We see that OpenIAM up and running, and it took us 12 minutes, and most of time we just waited. So trying to reach OpenIAM. Yeah, we get a sysadmin. As a part of the upgrade, also strongly recommend you to go to the content provider page, find the and add default patterns for each content provider. And as you see now, the version is 4.2.04. OpenIAM successfully updated. It's functional, it's running. It's not rendered yet. So congratulations.